Chapter 1. Bored out of my gourd, Sammy sighed as he bounced the tennis ball against the wall of the garage. Charles was bored too. It was a sticky hot Saturday in May, and he and his best friend had nothing to do. Well, that wasn't exactly true. There was always something to do if you asked Charles' mom. "Hey kids, help me clean up the basement," she'd suggest. Or, "You want to clean Mrs. Seiner's garden?" Or, "Hey, let's take Buddy for a walk." The first idea was out of the question. Charles remembered that 90% of the stuff in the basement had been stored there since he was born, so he felt like he wasn't responsible enough for it. As for Miss Seiner's leaves, he and Sammy pulled plenty of them last week to make sure up for the living room window they accidentally broke. Not on purpose, of course. They couldn't help it, but if the Steiner's damn house would be exactly where a left field would be in their imaginary baseball diamond. Anyways, it had almost been worth it. That inside park home run and the best hit of Charles' career so far. And Buddy? Well, he was that adorable puppy that Charles and his family had adopted. Charles loved Buddy more than anything in the world. He was the perfect little puppy in the world. Buddy had big brown eyes, soft, well-groomed, toast-colored fur, floppy ears, and a little white heart on his chest. And his breath smelled sweet. His little baby teeth were so white and sharp. He was always happy and ready for a snuggle. Buddy was growing up so fast. Sometimes Charles couldn't believe that Buddy would belong to him forever. The Petersons had been fostering lots of puppies, giving each one a safe home to live until they found it. But Buddy was different. Buddy had come to stay. Buddy got lots and lots of attention from the whole family. He had already been on 2 long walks a day with Lizzie, Charles' older sister, and once with Charles' dad and the Bean. Charles' little brother, the Bean, did have a real name, which was Adam, but nobody ever called that. The Bean was a toddler and a funny little saying. He liked to pretend that he was a dog. Some people thought it was weird, but the Pearsons were used to it, and it was the easiest to play along. So that morning when Charles got out Buddy's run leash, the green carried over a red leash. He sat up straight and eagerly. Charles clicked it onto a green harness Mom made him. You could practically imagine the Bean's fake tail wagging. Dad took hold of the Bean's leash while Charles held Buddy's, and they walked all the way to the playground back. The Bean hardly barked at all, but Dad gave him a cookie when he got home. Buddy got a dog biscuit. Now, Buddy and the Bean were both inside taking a nap on Buddy's red plaid dog bed with the Bean's favorite place to sleep, curled up with Buddy and a stuffed dog toy. I guess we can walk Buddy again, Charles told Sammy. He knew the puppy was always happy to be taken out. Oh, for Buddy, every lock was an adventure. Goldie and Rufus would probably like that lock too. Sammy lived next door with two golden retrievers, an older one named Rufus and a puppy named Goldie. If you remember our very first episode, Goldie was the first puppy that the Petersons ever fostered. Only one. Charles was suspicious. He knows Sammy had that certain sinking gleam in his eyes. The one that meant he had a Captain P plan. And Sammy's plans often led to trouble. Only the dogs might get scared if we go where I think we should go. What's that? Charles said curiously. The haunted house! Sammy with the ball bounced down the driveway. He then told Charles a story about an older boy from school. Harry Broomer says there's a ghost at the house near his over the cemetery. He hears it moaning all the time. Nighttime, daytime, it doesn't matter. That ghost is always willing. Has he seen it? Charles did not like to admit that he was afraid of ghosts. Nobody has, so we'll be the first. So suddenly helping Mom clean up the basement was sounding a lot more interesting. That Charles knew how Sammy was. When he came up with a plan, he had to follow through, and he expected company. Half an hour later, Sammy and Charles rode on their bikes around the corner near the cemetery and stopped short. Obvious which house was haunted. It had to look like an enormous, rambling, gray mansion that looked like it belonged in a classic scary movie. Charles could tell nobody lived in that house for a long time. Its windows and doors were cockeyed. Plant vines with poisonous purple flowers crawled all over the fallen porch. It was full of weeds. Most of them never taller than Charles. A rusty bicycle lay near the steps like someone dumped it 20 years ago and never came back to pick it up. Charles swallowed, his mouth felt dry. I don't hear any moaning, he said. Me neither. Sammy leaned his bike against the fence and pulled open the creaking gate. Maybe we'll have to get closer. Charles wanted to scream and run in the opposite direction. Sammy was already halfway from the lock. He couldn't abandon his friend. Charles left next to Sammy and tiptoed through the gate. Dare you to go up on that porch? Sammy had stopped near the rusty bicycle. Charles shook his head. Oh no! Thanks! He took a closer look at Sammy. Could his friend be scared too? Just then, Sammy shrugged and started up the rotting wooden stairs and then stopped mid-thing. Do you hear what I hear? Charles bluffed. He nodded. He heard it all right. It sent chills. Chills down his spine. The low moaning sound seemed to fill the air around it. Where is it coming from? Sammy tilted his head. I don't know, but Charles was often say that it was time for lunch, but Sammy interrupted. Come on, let's find out. Charles had no choice to follow Sammy up on the porch. The boys cupped their hands and peered into the windows of the dark, empty house. Nothing! Sammy sounded disappointed. Charles hoped that meant they could leave, but the moment it stopped. Oh my gosh! I think it's coming from out back! Sammy said after he listened to her a while. He led the way around the porch. Charles followed. Well, to watch him put his feet so that he didn't fall over the wooden boards. When Sammy stopped short, Charles slammed into him. Look! Sammy pointed. Oh man, Charles not only believed him. The bowling sound was coming from a ghost. It was coming from a puppy. A puppy that was tied up in the garage next door.